I want to talk about, I want to go a little bit local, like a local anesthetic. Unbelievable a year for politics in the city of Toronto. Unbelievable, incredible, I'd say 1 year. Right? It was pretty benign.
It was May of last year where
he got himself in trouble.
May of last year was when the video came out.
2 years now for the whole thing.
But a year, okay, the last year he's been...
You
with
the circus.
Barnum and Bailey.
The carnival, the guy, the jugglers and the clowns and the lady
Cirque du Soleil.
who shaves with
Yeah.
beard.
But the circus.
But here, nobody would have predicted this, and I think that the Toronto Star is being so harsh, with the situation. Mayor Ford is in really rough shape right now, and here's
he's got a double, Frank, as I see it. He's got the stomach, and he's got the lungs. They're looking at both. He's a very sick man.
Yeah. Here's the thing that bothers me, and I feel sorry for him, and my heart goes out to him, and I wish him nothing but the best. I mean, he's a fellow Canadian, a fellow Torontonian, and I wish him the best. I mean, I don't want, but the Star's reading like they're just beating. I read 2 articles in the Toronto Star. I read the article where they just saying how he's manipulating this, and then the other one is that came out on his brother, who has the 3rd worst attendance of any councillor, and now he's running for mayor. But here's the thing. When they brought him to the hospital the day that he was in excruciating pain, from what I've read, is the doctors came out and made a statement right away, which I've never seen that before. Mm-hmm. They did an MRI, and they deduced that there was a tumor in there, but they didn't know if it was malignant or but usually doctors don't even talk until the results of the biopsies and stuff. Why do you think, Perry, the doctors were so fast
I'll
to
give
do
you
a
2
press
reasons.
conference?
Number one, they wouldn't reveal the information unless the family wanted it to be released.
So why would they want it to be released?
Because they knew they were already being hounded left, right, and center. Now there's a problem. That family would have been under the gaze, the spotlight, even more than they've ever been before. The easiest thing for the family to say was, we'll give them something just to quiet them down right now. If you don't say anything, it'll be a lot worse. And also, if you say, he's very...
So you're saying because they've always been accused of using different marketing ploys to market themselves, that if they didn't say this, people would think it was another marketing ploy, him being...
No, that's
they
not.
got a sympathy?
I'm saying basically...
I'm just trying to understand that.
I'm just trying to say, to protect themselves, because they're dealing with a far more volatile situation of everything that's happened to Rob Ford. Now we're dealing with his health. We're dealing with potentially a life-threatening illness. To get the press off their back, they came out and say, here's what it is, right? They didn't say exactly what it is, but they're just trying to say, give us some breathing room. The guy's in the hospital. As soon as he went from the hospital where he was in Rexdale to Mount Sinai, I right away said, there's a reason why he's there right now, because he's getting specialty care.
He was in Rexdale, wasn't he, at Jane and Weston?
It was a hospital close to where...
Humber River.
Okay, which is Lawrence, Jane and Lawrence area.
Yeah. Now he's going to Mount Sinai. They're going for specialists because they know already there's a problem. We've got to get the best specialists we can to look at it. And again, I've said this off the air, right? Somebody I know who I respect in the medical field told me they would have known right away because they would have done a blood test. The blood test would have showed elevated white cell counts versus the red cell counts. When the white cell counts are way out of control, it means basically your immune system's out of whack. They would have known that there was a problem.
Sure.
They wouldn't have taken
they also stated, Perry, that it was a large mass in his stomach.
Yeah, I mean, they could do the biopsy. They could say it's going to take 10 days, but no. Because he may not have 10 days.
From what I'm reading in the press, he's in trouble. He's in trouble.
It's in an area of the body right now, which couldn't be a worse area. You're talking about the vital organs around there.
The colon, they're saying he's in rough shape, and it's very sad and very. I would say so he knows this, and I hear. From what I'm reading, that he's very upset, very depressed, normal, which is normal.
I don't think so. From what I've read, he's trying to attack this with a very positive frame of mind.
So what do you think that him passing the torch to his brother? What do you think? Are they going to get the sympathy vote for his brother based on what's going on, Rob Ford?
I completely don't understand why this is like okay, Big Brother, take over for me. To me, it's kind of like just two things I looked at. I heard basically he's making calls to his constituents. One thing is kind of noble, but do you think in this time of his life, with his being so ill as he is, he'd be focusing 100% of his attention on his illness? Number two, Doug Ford has said some things, particularly one comment about autistic people, that are going to come back to haunt him right now.
What did he say about autistic people?
He was talking about a neighborhood and in Rexdale, and he made a very, what I would...
Say it. I want to...
I don't really want to say it, because for personal reasons I don't want to say anything. I'm just going to say, Rob, when you're a counselor and you make a comment, it's fine. Now you're going for... to become the mayor, and what's his name?
Why would it be fine to say it as a
pounced on
counselor? Why would it be fair if he was a counselor to say something negative about anybody, and any
It's not that it'd be fair to say it. I'm saying the amount of he got a lot of criticism for it. This was not something that was just. There was a lot of thing, and he basically had to switch and go back and say, "This is what I meant to say." But it's a talking point right now that John Tory jumped on right away.
So what do you think, Tony? Do you think that Rob Ford's brother is going to have a chance?
I think he certainly has a chance. That Ford Nation brand, say what you will about Rob Ford, say what you will about the Ford family, but that Ford Nation brand seems to resonate with a hardcore 25-30% of electorate in Toronto.
That shrank.
But still, it's still pretty good brand for Ford Nation. And I think he'll try and get some of the sympathy vote. He'll say, my brother is ill. He wants me to do this, wants me to carry it on.
He's in serious situation.
And there's no reason why.
That's the card they're playing.
You're right, and I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I think that's the card, as you say, they're playing. And I was saying this to Perry off air. I was surprised that when it was announced that that Doug Ford was taking over, that John Tory right away attacked him. Like Olivia Chow was more. Not right now. Give it a day or two. Yeah, give it a day or two. Then we'll talk about Doug. This is about Rob. Well, John didn't waste much time. John Tory went after him, and I'm not sure if that was the right or wrong thing to do.
Toronto Star. I think that John.
Fair
Tory,
enough. And
I'm saying that.
But I have no trouble with the Star doing it. That's their job.
No, but I think that John. No, it's not.
Well, not
it's
to
not
attack,
their job.
but their job is to report the news.
I think that John Tory went after Doug Ford just after the Star.
No, he went after them right away.
I would have given it a day or two, and then let's start the campaign.
She gave it a day, and she said afterwards she made a mistake.
Olivia Chow, yeah.
Olivia Chow said, I made a mistake by not going after. Because she tried to be very calm and do the right thing.
I agree that
he went after it. He went after
I think he did the right thing.
Well, he might be heading. We'll find out election.
So, Bill, what do you think? Do you think this is a sympathy, a very well orchestrated thing? I mean, I feel very bad for Doug Ford, and he's in trouble. He's medically.
And Rob Ford.
Rob Ford.
No, I think that.
Rob Ford's in trouble. The mayor is in trouble.
Councillor from Ward 25. They're tired of the circus. This is a circus. This has embarrassed the city of Toronto long enough. And that has no reflection on the illness that has beset Rob Ford.
It's terrible.
The Ford brand, as I think Perry mentioned, is what could win the election. I mean, if they get enough people out to vote, they don't give a goddamn whether it's a circus or not. They just got to believe in their guy.
But I don't think he will win.
I really truly believe that John Tory is very well organized. The power behind him is well organized, and there's absolutely, unequivocally no way they're going to allow this to happen.
And Doug isn't as likable as Rob. Yes, Rob Ford's got a lot of issues, but for whatever reason, Rob Ford seems to resonate with the everyday person.
Oh, no, he resonates very well with those people whom he represents.
Yeah, and Doug Ford...
Let's face it.
Yeah.
I mean, he has an equivalent IQ level with him as well. In all due respect, I hate to say that about the guy, but that's it. And he is very sympathetic to those people who vote for him. And he treats them like one of his. And good for him, because he's one of theirs.